CJ Stroud didn't just defy the odds. He lit them on fire. This video is about the problem with the NFL's so-called smartness metric. For decades, the Wonderlic was the go-to test, a 50-question multiple-choice quiz. It was timed, it was stressful, and it was often criticized for cultural bias. Players like Frank Gore and Dan Marino scored poorly on it, yet both had Hall of Fame-worthy careers. A 2012 New York Times study found that no meaningful correlation between Wonderlic scores and NFL performance. In fact, higher scores sometimes negatively correlated with on-field success for quarterbacks. The S2 test claims to go deeper. It's not just multiple choice. It measures milliseconds, reaction time, tracking multiple objects, adapting to change. Think a neuroathletic MRI. The S2 says elite scores fall between 80 to 100. Stroud scored an 18. The S2 creators argue it's not an IQ test, but here's the thing. The NFL is obsessed with measurables. From hand size to 40-yard dash to test scores, teams want numbers. So even if the creators say don't overuse it, the system often does. He dropped from a potential number 1 pick to the guaranteed number 2. And this isn't new. In 2018, Lamar Jackson faced doubts over his processing ability. They said he should switch to wide receiver. He won MVP just a year later. So here's the million-dollar question.
To what extent do cognitive ability tests serve as an effective means to predict NFL player success?
Because the S2 didn't just miss. It completely contradicted what we all saw. Fast decision-making, pocket awareness, perfect reads. These aren't just highlights, they're play-by-play IQ moments. Through Week 10, Stroud led all rookie quarterbacks in passer rating at 100.8. He had the fewest interceptions with 2 in the most 300-yard games, because quarterbacking is more than cognition. You can't measure calm in a collapsing pocket. You can't time how quickly a quarterback wins over a locker room. That's the problem with reducing football to a test score. It misses the human side of greatness. Stroud himself responded after the draft.
Test taker, so I play football for me, but at the end of the day, man, I don't got nothing to prove to nobody, so I'm not going to sit here and explain how I process football.
Stroud reportedly spent hours breaking down film weekly with his coaches, studying tendencies, disguises, rotations, just not in a timed lab format. Even one of the S2 creators said, in fact, some high-scoring players struggle under live pressure. One scout put it bluntly. The test tells me how fast your brain moves, but not whether you'll fold when the blitz comes. The issue isn't the test, it's how it's used. And that's the danger. A tool becomes a gatekeeper. Teams use it to eliminate players instead of understand them. That's not scouting. The league has always struggled to evaluate quarterbacks. Analytics can help, but it needs to be part of a conversation, not the whole conversation. Brady wasn't fast, didn't jump high, and didn't ace cognitive testing, but his tape told the real story. CJ Stroud is proving that talent, grit, and poise matter so much more to player success than any test can. And let's be real, how many Super Bowl winning quarterbacks would have passed this test? Eli Manning? Nick Foles? The game isn't played with a controller. It's played in chaos. CJ Stroud didn't pass the NFL's so-called smartness test. And that might be the best thing to ever happen to him, because now, every Sunday, he's rewriting what smart looks like on the field. Because in the NFL, you don't need to score high on a test to prove you're a quarterback. You just need to show up and ball out. Maybe the real intelligence test isn't about reaction speed. It's about learning from failure, earning trust, and rising under pressure. And by that standard, Stroud is already acing it.